What's up, coach? Before we can change the game, we gotta talk about defense. Let's go. What's up, coach? I'm Eddie Young, and I want to welcome you to the Middle School Football Academy. This is your home for everything middle school football related. So, if this is your first time viewing, thank you, welcome. Hope that you'll continue to watch with us. All right, so today we're talking about defensive line techniques. Okay, you may have heard some other coaches talking about a 3 technique, 1 technique, 2-eye, 4-eye, 8, 9, all that good stuff. Listen, I'm going to try to break it down to you as simply as possible, because what's not important is what you know. What's more important is what your players know. Let's get into it. What's up, coach? We're back and we're talking about defensive line and linebacker techniques. This is something really important and kind of cool to pick up because it will give you an effective and efficient way of communicating with your team. Let's say that you need to know where the pressure is coming from, or if you need to make an adjustment on your defensive line to figure out where they're coming from, or to say we need you to shift into this position. You can give them something real quick which tells them where to go, and you can be really exact with it. So first up, we have your typical offensive line. You have center, guard, tackle, tight end. All right, now this one has been around for a while as far as technique alignment teaching. Head up the center is a 0, head up the guard is a 2, head up the tackle is a 4, head up the tight end is a 6. So you notice they're all even numbers. Now on the outside shoulders of each offensive lineman are the odd numbers. Okay, so outside the center is a 1, outside the guard is a 3, outside the tackle is a 5. Now on the inside we have the eyes, or 2-eye, which is short for inside. So inside the guard is a 2-eye, or 2 inside. Inside the tackle is a 4-eye, or 4 inside. All right. Now the reason why I don't particularly use this is simply because the pattern changes. Okay. So while head up the tight end is a 6, the inside shade is a 7, and the outside is a 9. And I found it to be a little bit easier if we can find something to teach our kids that keeps the pattern the same. So this is what I actually use when I'm teaching our kids, okay? First, we'll start off with the gaps, which is simply just the space in between each offensive lineman. So in between the center and guard is the A gap. In between the guard and tackle is the B gap. In between the tackle and tight end is the C gap. And anything outside the tight end is the D gap, okay? Now we're going to hop down a little bit to make sure that we get our understanding right. Head up is still the same, still the even numbers. 0, 2, 4, 6. Head up the center, head up the guard, head up the tackle, head up the tight end. Now, this is where things get a little bit different, but I think it's actually easier to understand. When we're talking about the inside shades, it still keeps with the eyes, except it follows the pattern of keeping the even numbers. So the 2-eye is head up the guard. The 2-eye is on the inside shade of the guard. The 4-eye is on the inside shade of the tackle, and the 6-eye is the inside shade of the tight end. You hop down to the outside shade. The 1 technique is the outside shade of the center. Well, once again, this begins our pattern of the odd numbers being on the outside. So the 1 is outside the center, the 3 is outside of the guard, the 5 is outside of the tackle, and the 7 is outside of the tight end. So coach, now I need you to imagine those same defensive line techniques, except backed up. Okay, so you just want to back it on up to linebacker depth. Okay, so if you had a head up nose tackle on the center and he backed up, instead of being a 0 technique, he would be a 00. If you had someone playing the 1 technique but backed up to linebacker depth, now it's a 10. If you had somebody head up your guard at a 2 technique and backed up to linebacker depth, now is at a 20 technique. This gives you so much power and ability to communicate with your team efficiently and effectively. Because let's say that you pull your lines off, your offensive line off in between series, and you ask them what's going on. We're getting a lot of pressure. You can be really specific and say, it looks like we're getting a lot of pressure through the B gap. What's going on? What they should be able to tell you is, Coach, we have a 2 technique and then we have a 30 technique. And what they're doing is the 2 technique is shooting through the B gap, but the 30 technique is shooting through the A gap. That way you can game plan and you can scheme something to attack and to defend against the pressure that the defense is giving you.
Hey, hopefully that's been helpful. Hopefully that gives you a little bit more understanding and knowledge about defensive line and linebacker techniques. That way you can communicate with your team effectively and efficiently. Now, if this was helpful for you, can you please do me just one favor? Just subscribe to the channel. I really want to make sure that we are growing our community to help us, me, you, your mom, and your cousin too, change the game of middle school football. We'll see y'all next time. Peace.